What do you need to know in order to become a traveling healthcare professional? On this episode, I talked to two industry veterans who also happen to be Atlas MedStaff employees about that. This is Atlas All Access. Jamie Graham, recruiter. How long have you been a recruiter with us?
Almost 5 years.
Almost 5 years
It'll
now.
be 5 years in October.
Oh my gosh.
I know.
That time has gone so
It
fast.
really has. It's very odd to say that out loud.
And Lindsey, you've been a recruiter before, but now you're a team manager. How long have you been with us?
I've been with Atlas since January of 2019, so
Okay.
5.5 years.
Wow, so same amount of time.
Yeah.
Yes.
Were you the same training class?
No,
No,
but we were close.
We were close.
Okay.
We were close.
like 6 months apart.
Okay. So here's what I want to talk about. We're going to do this in 2 episodes, okay? I want to talk about just this episode here, just starting off. A nurse or a tech thinking, I want to be a traveler. How do I get started? So you guys ready for this?
Oh, yeah.
Always.
Okay, here we go. Question number 1. What steps should someone take to prepare for a career in travel nursing? So travel healthcare. Just what steps should they take ahead of time?
I mean, I think that you need to ask the questions to the people you know that have been travelers, which is what most travelers do. They go and they ask questions like, you know, how far in advance do I need to prepare for this? Because most people want to give their current workplace at least 2 to 4 weeks notice. I would say most of them want to give at least 4 weeks.
So you've got travelers on your unit
That
utilize their knowledge.
Absolutely. Ask them what their best experiences were, and they're all going to tell you find a good recruiter. So I would say that that's definitely number 1. I mean, I'm not just saying that because I am a recruiter. I'm saying that because it's like your home base.
I agree 100%. I think it's like if you're going to take a big vacation. What do you do when you are going to take a big vacation? You research the area you're going to go to. You research travel nursing. You go on all of the social media. You follow on Instagram. You follow on TikTok. You follow on Facebook, just like you would here, and find out all the information you can about the agencies, the things you're going to do. This is why we're making this podcast. So we have information out there for these people. And like Jamie said, you find people that you trust to get information from. It's going to be people you work with. It's going to be people on your unit, things like that.
Mm-hmm. Well, okay, so question 1A then. What if you're not a planner? What if you don't have that bone in your body, right?
I have those people. I do have people that don't plan, and they just come to me with like a whole slew of questions. But they get my number from somebody.
Okay.
So once they get the idea in their head, it's normally because either somebody on their unit is a traveler, or somebody in their family or their friends is a traveler. And then they say, okay, I don't really know where to start.
They'll get a random piece of paper, start writing questions down.
I literally tell them to do that. I say, you're going to think of questions in 2 hours, text me. I said, even if it's midnight, text me because I don't want you to forget. I forget very important things. Most of the time it's health insurance. People always forget to ask about health insurance.
True.
It's true.
Yeah.
And that's important.
But that's what makes a good recruiter so important, like Jamie. Jamie's going to answer the questions you didn't know to ask.
Yeah.
She's going to be on that phone call and say, hey, we've answered all of your questions. Let me tell you some questions you probably should ask, but you didn't, and I'm going to answer them for you now. And then I'm going to be available when you have those follow-up questions.
Basic qualifications. So you got a brand new person out there. What are the absolute basics that they have to have right now in order to even start thinking about becoming a traveling healthcare professional?
1.5 years experience, BLS.
I was going to go
Must-haves.
even before that. You need to have a nursing license, one. It's like asking your IT department when my computer doesn't work. Is it plugged in?
Did you clear your cache?
Right.
Did you turn it on? Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, but yeah.
1.5 years, BLS, those are the 2.
Okay.
And acute experience for us. That's what we need that. I would say we need.
So you're going to travel in that specialty that you're in right now. You're not going to start your travel career in a different specialty
Absolutely
altogether.
cannot do that. That will not work. Correct.
Even if it seems like such a great idea,
It just doesn't work.
I could totally do that.
It doesn't work that way.
Okay, all right. Question number 3, what factors should be considered when selecting a travel nurse agency and recruiter?
Okay.
What factors should be included in that?
I would say first and foremost, it's all about the relationship that you build right away. So you have to find somebody that you can, 1, trust, 2, get a hold of, 3, that you can rely on the agency as a whole. That meaning like insurance, just all the compliance stuff, all of those basic things. Those are the must-haves in selecting an agency.
Yeah.
And I always tell people to have, I say 1 or 2. When I deal with people that deal with like 6, I'm like, oh, it's too many. It's hard. And what always happens is they get double submitted.
Always.
Always.
I mean, you would think so.
Always.
We all have the same contracts.
We,
I mean,
we do. We all have the same contracts. When you have too many cookies in the basket, it just becomes too much to handle. I think that's the right term. I don't know. I don't know if cookies go in a basket, but it sounded good.
I could
like
eat
they
cookies
do.
out of a
Those are
basket.
the
Sure.
teachers,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. What else do you think?
I think I agree with everything you said. That's why we work well together. But that being said, you hit the nail on the head, Rich. Everybody has contracts. Everybody has insurance. Everybody has that.
Yeah.
I like to relate it when I talk to travelers or when I'm talking to recruiters about how they talk to their travelers. It's like, you're going to go, where do you buy your meat from? That's what I ask my travelers. And I said, they go, oh, I buy it from Costco. I buy it from the grocery store. I buy it from the butcher. I get it directly. I was like, why don't you buy your meat from the 99-cent store? You want to go with someone you trust, someone you trust the quality of. You know what I mean? I'm not saying that my dad loves the 99-cent store for, you know, my dad, he cries Grey Poupon mustard from them.
Sure.
They have great things. But are you going to trust the next 13 weeks of your occupational health as a nurse to the bare bones agency that
It's like
is-
gas station sushi.
Exactly. Where do you buy
Yeah.
Another question. Where do you buy your coffee from? Do
Yeah.
you buy it from 7-Eleven? Do you buy it from Starbucks? Do you brew it from home? Do you buy
Absolutely.
Those are
That's
the
a
things you
great-
want to
great
look
way to
at.
put it.
You know what I
Look at
mean? Are you going to buy the most expensive just because it's most expensive? Are you going to go to the people that you trust the quality, you trust the customer service, you trust the care? And that's what I think we are. And there's some other good agencies out there.
Yeah.
But I know because I'm here and I choose to be here and you choose to be here, that's what we provide. And that's forefront for
I would
us.
agree with that.
I'd be happy to add to that. Like, there are a lot of companies that popped up during the pandemic because the money was so good. When they start in 2020, they don't have that base of knowledge, right? That'd be a tough one for me if I had a professional license and I was trusting someone like that. All right, last question for this one. Can you explain the role of a travel nurse agency in the process for that traveling healthcare professional? So what do you guys bring? What do you bring to the table? What do you bring to the table during that process?
My job's a little bit more overarching than yours. You get to talk directly to the traveler, which is the most important piece. You're building that relationship. You're educating them. I'm here to support you and the traveler in whatever questions you might need approval for, what questions you might not know the answer for. So I'm here as essentially your backup and your coverage to make sure we are providing everything you need in order to be the best recruiter for your traveler.
So like we house everything. We've got your compliance. We have the contracts to start off. We have all of it. If you need certs, we are your resource for that. If you need insurance, we help you with that.
Yes.
If you need help finding housing, we help you with that. We don't provide it, but we provide the stipends and all of
Exactly.
that. But I have so many nurses that are like, I can't find affordable housing. I had somebody say that for Wisconsin the other day. I was like, give me a second. I have 3 people there. Let me see where the safe areas are. Let me
Yes.
see like where they found a place. I had a nurse that used Craigslist once. And I'd never, I know, but it was legit.
Okay, all right.
It was legit.
All
And
right.
I was like, so now every once in a while in Nebraska, for example, small western Nebraska, you can find housing on Craigslist
Okay.
because some of those older folks don't use Facebook. They
Right.
use Craigslist.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's not the best example for housing, but I'm just saying we provide all of those services and we go above and beyond.
But you're right, though, and it almost answers the previous question too, because that other agency may not have those resources that you right, that type of answer.
Yeah.
Because you may not want to use Craigslist until you get to that point, right?
Yes.
And you're like, oh, wait a minute, there's this cute old couple
Yeah.
that has a house in western Nebraska,
Yeah.
and that's the only way that they posted it, and you wouldn't have found it otherwise.
Yeah.
And I know people there. I mean, that's another thing is that we have a lot of connections. When you've been at a place for a long time, you have a lot of connections. So
Yes.
I had asked one of my friends from college, I was like, can you vet this place? Can you tell me like,
Yeah.
he's like, oh, yes. That's Bill and Mary. You know, I mean, like what? It's just
Bill and Mary.
It was
They're great.
It's totally fine. We house everything for you. We literally like take the reins for a new traveler, and that way they don't have to worry about anything.
Yeah.
We take it from the beginning of the contract, setting up their resume, until the very end, and make sure that their experience is good.
All right, so we've run out of time for this episode. Come back in a couple of weeks. We're going to continue this conversation with more questions about once you're into that contract, what you can expect.